was a total game changer in my own in my own kind of development, because you will see people with satellite dishes doing like home something. Verizon will have like strung a cable going from one side of the street to the other side of the street. There are coax cables going all over the building that are drilled through the walls. There is like, spend some time walking. Next time you're walking down the street, look up at like, or especially like in the Lower East Side or something where you have buildings like that, you will notice on the front face of all of those buildings like 1,000 coax cables going down to every single apartment. And so it kind of opens you up to realizing that like if the big companies are doing this and they don't seem to care, you know, we're respectful and want to make sure that you're doing everything in accordance with what your landlord wants. But at the end of the day, you're just putting in a couple of screws that could easily be taken out. So it's no more invasive than getting a Verizon Fios connection. It's just that because we're volunteers, people seem to think that that's different. If somebody shows up in a uniform, then you trust that person. But so we're trying to get over that stigma.
Have you worked with any co-ops or condos to get it from other residents or owners?
So we're just we've talked to a couple of folks. I actually was just emailing this morning about working on trying to do some presentation to condo boards who are interested. It should be, and we're just kind of getting to the size, I think, now that people are taking note. So we've done some presentation back, but it's kind of, we're risky, but now we've been around for 5 or 6 years. We've never had an outage on our network, even during Superstorm Sandy. So now we have enough of a track record, I think, that we can go to condo boards and say, look, we have 7 years of uninterrupted access on our network. You know, this is a viable option. We're not leaving tomorrow.
In a building, I missed it. Would you have to have coaxial to each of the?
So we do Ethernet to each unit as well. And so.
Would it be wireless?
Sorry?
Would it be wireless to each unit if you put it on?
No, we would run Ethernet cable we'd put a switch on the roof and then we'd run Ethernet to each of the units. That's usually how we'll do it. I mean, for new developments and for folks that are thinking about doing fiber or other sorts of access indoors, we've been trying to talk to them because a lot of building owners, low-income housing providers, other kinds of folks. I mean, one of the things that's for example, we were just looking at a building that's a relatively new development for low-income housing in Brooklyn. Beautiful new Energy Star building. It's going to be cutting edge, it's going to be great, but part of that is that the whole building is sealed, right, to be able to be good, great for heat, all those kinds of things. Verizon showed up during the construction of the building, installed their conduit throughout the building, and now nobody else can drill a hole in the wall because you would lose your Energy Star rating. And so now, forever and always, Verizon will be the only provider for these low-income housing units, and there's just we looked at the building, we want to try to find ways to be able to connect it, but unfortunately, that's the reality of the brand. So a lot of building managers and operators and condo boards and stuff, I think, have a lot of interest in owning the fiber in their building, and we can light that. And so that's kind of a direction that we've been wanting to go, because as a building provider, why do you want Verizon to own the fiber in your building, and then you decide that you don't like that relationship anymore, and they're like, well, go to somebody else. Oh, you don't have that option. So we're trying to kind of work in that kind of model, which I think is really appealing to boards and such.
Would you wire it? Would you go to a third party?
We have a third-party contractor that specializes in telecom that we've worked with. So our kind of model that we've talked about is we'd put in a bid through our contractor. You'd probably put in a bid with your contractor. We could compare, see. I mean, our kind of goal is to get you connected at the lowest human possible price. We're a nonprofit. Our only goal is to connect individuals. I think we found that we average is about $7 a unit. It's kind of the backbone cost for us of connecting an apartment. We charge people $0 to $20 or ask for a contribution of $0 to $20. So it varies. Some people don't pay, as I was mentioning. But we operate this whole network. We're in about 300 buildings, and our monthly costs are about $1,800.
Is there a map? Can we get a map of which buildings you're in? Or
Yeah, this is all, no. We try to be as transparent as we possibly can. So this, if you go to our website, nycmesh.net, the first thing you'll see is this map, which are all the buildings that we're in right now. And the dark blue dots are kind of our super nodes, we call them. That's where we're either do have or are trying to have an ultra high speed connection through fiber or some other kind of wireless gigabit connection. These blue dots here are these guys here. These are like hubs that folks, and then the red dots are individual members and buildings and stuff like that. So even if you go on some of these, we really try, you can read everything about every piece of equipment we use, everything. We really try to be as transparent as possible, but you can even see, at a basic level, for example, you look at this, you can see exactly what this building is. So that hub there is the Rivington Hotel, and we have a picture that we took of the rooftop access. Obviously, you as an end user, if you don't want that information online, that's not online, but we really try to be as transparent as possible about where we are.
One of these, give all the
so yeah, each one, sorry?
Did one of these kind of fulfill hotels' needs for internet?
So for the whole hotel, they want a fiber connection. What we're doing there, I believe, is providing access to like their public spaces. And so that's kind of the thing that we've tried to work with a number of folks is like, you probably want a fiber connection. We're also able to do that and operate trying to do fiber. We rent fiber and then work and try to find and make it cheaper for you based on loops and other kinds of connections that we have. And that's a big goal that we want to expand into. But for the most part right now, we'd probably be doing public spaces in it, and then you'd probably want a fiber connection if you're individually wiring. But we can get the speeds that we're able to get to here wirelessly, with the equipment that just came out, you can do a wireless gigabit connection now. And that's, for most buildings, honestly, for normal human usage like us, and you're not doing some crazy operation, a gigabit connection is going to be enough for probably every unit in the building, of a reasonable size. So we're really getting to the point where you can actually do a wireless connection that will meet most people's needs. Yeah, it's fun.
So I live in Brooklyn, Brownstone,
Uh-huh.
and I want this on my rooftop. Do I just call?
Yeah, you can. Here, I can write my email down on the back there. Should I give this back to you, Jolly? All right.
Finish your presentation.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'll wait for the next round.
Well, we're just doing kind of question and answer.
Okay, that's good enough. I can edit.
So if you wanted that on your building, if you wanted to connect online, you'd go to, the easiest way is to go to nycmesh.net. We have a site here that just says get connected. You would enter your name, email address, and address, and somebody would get in touch with you. Usually the next step is that if you have roof access or on a window or whatever, we'd ask you to just get your phone out, take a 360 view of your roof or out your window or wherever we have, and then we would use, where'd it go? We would use Google Earth. So here we've mapped, these are all our nodes throughout the city. And you can see all these lines are various point-to-point connections that we have throughout the city. So then we'd actually use, yeah, absolutely, thank you. We'd use Google Earth to be able to zero in on exactly where you are. Make sure that you have, these are lines of sight, make sure that you have a line of sight to a local hub. And then from there, we'd send, if you do, assuming that all works, we'd send out a team of folks volunteers to show up at your house and help to teach you to install the connection. And then that's it. Then you own the equipment. It is your connection. You can contribute in whatever way you want. Oh yeah, come to one of our meetups. Absolutely. Hey, hi, I'm Scott.
Hi, Wayne.
Hey, hi, Wayne. Yeah, come to one of our meetups. Absolutely, twice a month. You absolutely should. I'm an install leader. I'm doing an install on Tuesday. We have lots that are on weekends also. You can, if you join our Slack, you can join our install team, and you don't have to know anything about, no prior knowledge necessary. You can tag along on an install. You would learn how to do it, and usually within 3, if you wanted to do a couple, within 3 or 4 installs, you would probably be able to do it. You'd be an expert home internet provider. Yeah. The Slack channel is the easiest way to kind of join up in the community. Yeah.
Can you check out some locations in Manhattan?
Sure. It's a little bit complex to be able to do it because there's another spreadsheet that actually feeds data into this. The easiest way, you can definitely play around with it and see if the...
New York City Mesh for about a year.
Sorry?
I've been on it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I have a smaller, the Nano.
You have the
5,
SXT?
or the Nano.
Oh,
the Nano
okay.
5G.
Oh,
I was
cool.
wondering if there's better ones that's come out. It's just like what's
So now we're doing this is now our primary thing that we're installing. It actually has the new ones have a slightly different antenna that looks better. This is the first generation. Now they have second generation antenna. These are a bit more powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, the secondary, my grandchild. I got a grandchild that wanted to.
Yeah.
I couldn't get on my roof. My landlord wouldn't let me on the roof, so I had to wait for someone.
Exactly. It's a slow building process of getting the network. I mean, check it out. You can always look in, because what we've been trying to figure out, which is a challenge, is that we actually are putting up new hubs now.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but with regularity. So a lot of people that like a year ago couldn't connect or were connecting to some kind of roundabout out the place, we actually now may have something that's even closer and easier to connect to. So it all, So
I mean, I am through a node. I am connected.
Okay, great. Yeah.
But I don't know if there's any better than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious, because now we've slowly improved the network. We don't have a great system for trying to figure out exactly how to resolve that, because it's like we want to go back to you and say like, hey, look, we have this better place to be able to get you to, and really want to make sure that we're getting you the best connection that we can.
Yeah, Brian messaged me, emailed me. Brian.
Yeah.
He emailed me, months later. It's like, hey, the next day I was like, I bought it.
Awesome, great.